You know, like when I just started playing Go, I was thinking this game is completely opposite to chess, because in chess you can move pieces, but in Go you just place the stones, right? In chess you have many piece types, and like the combinations between how those pieces are moving might result in a good attack on the opponent's king, right? In Go you don't have anything alike. And if we are considering the outcome result of the game, then if chess is all about like killing your opponent, then Go is more likely about coexisting with your opponent, which makes it like vastly different, in my personal opinion, at very least. So I thought that there are no similarities, like maybe a part of what is known as the knight move in Go, when you just make this jump, which goes like if this was the knight move in chess. But actually, it turns out that there are really lots of similarities between these two games. And once I started like seeing those similarities and trying to apply those in my own games, I felt like I started improving. You might have noticed that the starting position in this game I've played versus GNU GO is not like from the modern Go era. What's the difference is with this position and the modern Go is that white plays first and there is no commie. So yeah, let's actually get into the game. So I was playing white, and again in this regards, like in ancient Chinese Go, white were first to move. So yeah, let's give it a try. So my first move, I approached the corner, and this is GNU GO responses. So one important thing in regards to GNU GO, so it doesn't have neural networks unlike the modern Go engines. So I just need to say that the way how GNUGO observes the overall situation, like what's happening on the board, is very limited. Even like if this would be the higher level, it still would be limited. So that's the room for me to be creative and to try to do something. So let's go. So what I'm doing by this move, I'm not gaining any territory, but at very least I'm trying to split these two white stones, which makes them weak. So if I don't play this and say black plays somewhere in here, then this might not be as good. So it just potentially might build territory here and even capturing my stone later. So it's not really that good idea. So now black is like, it's not really grabbing the territory because white can still invade the 3-3 point, for instance. So like that's how GNU GO plays. So it plays black, just to remind. So what he tries to do now, potentially, if I'm not careful, he would try to build the wall right over in here and try to capture these two stones. Like, not something that human player would do probably, but that's how GNU GO is thinking. So I don't mind, because it still gives me an option to invade the corner this way. So at very least, I need probably one more stone to be placed somewhere in here. And most likely I would leave here on the side, or if he allows me to invade the corner, I would definitely live in the corner. And if it doesn't allow me living in the corner, then I still have an option of running away and connecting somewhere in the center with the rest of my groups. So that's what is about to be happening there. So he doesn't allow me taking the corner by this move, but I just secure in some potential space. So again, so I either leave on the side or run to the center, but not going to lose these stones. And now, before we proceed with the game, let's introduce a bit more similarities between Go and chess. So in chess, the worst thing ever that you can do is trying to go for a hack attack on a king without developing your pieces good enough. And quite interestingly, that we have exactly the same principle in Go. And again, if we are playing from the starting position, like without this 4 stones, like this one, this one, this, and this one being placed in the very beginning, in that case, that might not be that clearly seen, especially in the professional games. Well, that definitely is there, but it's not as didactic, as easy to understand as how it goes with this sort of positions. So if you have a look at like 15th century Chinese games as opposed to modern games, so what you really see that they are trying to build bases everywhere on the board. So by saying a base, I mean like when you have at least like 2 stones trying to potentially occupy some territory and leave there. So that's what I mean by saying the base. So making base, we'll now come to making some more bases, which is interesting. But like before that ever happens, I just want to emphasize this quite important thing that these stages are important. So you just start developing your bases, and then opponent also develops his own bases, and these bases are occupying around equal territory, and then you can fight for some territory that you're not quite sure whether they belong to black or white. And then you just generally try to connect all the groups together. And quite interestingly, there is another difference between ancient Chinese and the modern Go, is that in ancient Chinese, if you have a group with only 2 eyes, that's the minimal amount of eyes you need for your group to leave. So in that case, there was a sort of a penalty. So so those eyes that were involved for living, just to make sure. So let's say you have a living group, it only has 2 eyes, and in modern Go, those 2 eyes would be scored as 2 points of territory. But in ancient Chinese rules, it wasn't that way. So those 2 were not treated as your territory, because there was like a tax to pay for living. And that's the reason why in ancient Chinese games, like what was really different in regards to the style, they tried to connect every single base they've drafted on the very beginning of the game all together at the end. So literally connecting everything. So obviously, like, stay connected is the Go #1 principle forever. But I believe that with those rules, when you had to pay some taxes for having eyes on a living group, the matter of connecting your groups was just a matter of not being necessarily needed to pay this tax, or it's better to say like you just pay this tax once, and then you just, since you have all the groups connected, that means that you just pay this once. So let's say you have 4 groups, and in this case you need to pay this tax 4 times. So yeah, ancient WeiQi was really about bypassing the taxes, which is at some point really interesting in this modern regards. So I pincer here. So the idea is that if black is not careful, it can potentially try to surround this stone and draft some territory here. But obviously, well, I know that black would run towards the center. That's fairly straightforward thing that like would happen most likely in the human players as well. But this move has 2 meanings, and actually it's really important to have like more than 1 meaning for a single given move that you play on a board. So bearing in mind what I've just said about building bases, so this move is, well, on the one hand, it surrounds the black stone, which kind of forces black to run towards the center, or trying to protect the corner if black would consider playing here, which would probably be much better for him. But the second idea behind this move, I'm going to place a stone here later to form a base, so that I have a base here, then I want to build a base here, and then we'll see how it goes. And also we need to see like how likely opponent is approaching, whether he's trying to build bases or not. So he runs towards the center to avoid, like, so this stone is weak, so it might get surrounded, might get captured. So this stone like tries to run towards the center to save the group, which is good. And the next thing, so here I have 2 options. I could have jumped here to make a base like this, but I consider securing the corner, because corner is bigger. Well, obviously, like from the modern game theory perspective, you probably still can invade the 3 point here, and probably black is going to be, I believe, better. Maybe not, I don't know. Maybe I play here after. But at very least, like this potential territory drafted by whites can still be demolished by black. So securing the corner doesn't necessarily mean that these points are going to be mine. And quite interestingly, that if we just estimate the if we do estimate this territory, so I'm using the Sabaki GUI, which is I believe Electron.js based framework cross-platform application which can run on Windows, Linux and Mac. I'm on Linux and I really enjoy using it. So yeah, this estimate sort of a thing here, estimate like this. So already now, like I'm heavily relying on this estimation, which might not be as good if you want to be a real Go player, but for my needs it's more than enough. So this application thinks that white is 15 points plus here, and if we just do one move back, so we just take one move back and see the estimate score here, you see it's only +9. So by only this move, I'm getting like lots of points. So I'm securing the corner next. I'm not quite sure in regards to this move, like it's not really the black, well probably black is going here to try to do something to this stone. But what I play at this point, since as white I already know that my major goal is to build a base, literally playing here, I will probably play here is black, and if black plays here, then you have this, like it's not really Moyo, maybe it is, it might be considered as Moyo, but you're drafting more territory potentially, because this move, even to my noob's eyes, it looks quite pretty useless so far. Anyway, still like trying to secure my corner. Well, this move is already something I kind of like, something I will play on my own. So approaching the corner, and now again, so it's just the right time to build the base, because otherwise if I try to enclose this corner, so black can still play here or here and reducing the corner, so I would eventually get absolutely nothing from that. And if black plays here, then this stone would most likely die, or if I manage to like run to the center and leave, so by the time I would be doing this, black would grab the entire board and get all of the territory, and it would end up losing by like 90 points like I usually do in human versus human games. So definitely not on the cards. So again, I'm following the strategy that I would have followed if I was playing chess, and I'm just trying to build the base. Another interesting thing to consider, like if you're about like 2000 rated player in chess, that you definitely know that like developing pieces in chess is not just a matter of like just first developing the knights, then the bishops, then centralizing the rooks, putting the queen somewhere to the second position and go for a hack attack. No, it doesn't work like that. The way it works, you're really trying to get a certain type of position you feel comfortable with, and you know the middle game plans for, like you know what to do in the middle game. So when you're playing the opening in chess, the very first thing you're trying to achieve there is get a certain type of position. You really know what to do in that position, so that's really essential. And quite interestingly, in Go, this is really like exactly the same scenario here, because building this base is the certain way, so it's like we have like black base, white base, black base, or it's not base really, then white base, then again black base, white base, black base, white base. That's how the vast majority of ancient games are going on. So they are really like incredibly balanced. So you have like black group, white group, black group, white group, like going all around the board. If you have a look at later Desaku's games, like they no longer play this 4 stones, like no starting position back in the day. But in Desaku's games, although they didn't have this starting stones, the idea is still the same. They just like going around the board trying to establish some bases. So, well, I understand that's the matter of like ancient opening theory that is vastly different as opposed to what we have today. But you know, like without understanding those basics and without walking through the basics, and what is even more important, without understanding why exactly they have been doing that, it's incredibly difficult to understand what the heck is going on in the modern games, especially in the modern professional games. So I would call this base building in a certain way, like white base, black base, white base, black base, is something that helps you to have a very simple plan for a middle game, which is you just try to grab around equal territory as your opponent does, and then you just try to connect all your groups together. And the better you do this, the more chances that you would be winning, because like if you are connected, if you connect all of the groups, there are much more chances to kill your opponent somewhere on the board. It would be best if this happens in the corner. Okay, let's keep going. So again, this is good move in terms of I understand what it does. So white build the base here, black build the base here. So I believe that programmers has been coding GNU GO, like there was not a single person, different people, but I believe they were inspired by the ancient Chinese games, because this is really like that sort of style. So white does the same, well, still invadable, definitely, but you just try to get this idea, like again, from my noob's eye, so white base, black base, white base, so here probably would be black base, so here white base, here again black base. So what's the problem now here? So if black plays here, actually, that's probably going to be much better for him. I believe he didn't play that. Yes, he didn't. But if actually black plays here, then I believe that it's really good for black on the top of the board. But he didn't. It just tries to secure the corner here. So just trying to live here down below in the corner, which is good. And what? Yeah, I'm just doing this tiger mouse to avoid black playing the stone here and capturing my stones. So it's a must, like forced move at some point. Then I'm securing the corner. So here I was really tempted to try to build a base here, but if I do that, black can just invade the corner and I gain no territory at the very end. So this move is just bigger. And then I approach from this side because I'm stronger on the left side of the board, so potentially trying to build the territory framework over in here. And again, black is building, like, I don't know, probably playing somewhere in here could be better, but on the other hand, he's trying to secure the corner. But if he really wanted to secure the corner, he would play here otherwise, so I can still invade at some point. But anyway, at very least, well, probably these two stones seem quite weak at the moment. So this group is quite strong because it's occupying territory and it's more or less connected. This is a bit weaker, so if it's not careful, that it can get surrounded, but hopefully it still can be alive here. Just a matter of cost. This is undefined yet so far, not quite clear what's going to happen here. So this is good, this is solid, but this stone is weak because if black pincers here, so this stone is questioned, like whether it's supposed to be running towards the center to leave or trying to live in the corner. But yeah, what's the cost? He may end up living in the corner, but he may lose lots of territory points, like black can take the entire board. That's the scenario that happens like 500 plus times in my games, like human versus human. So like I'm trying to leave, and for the cost of losing like 50 points or 90 points. Yes, opponent allows me to leave, but like I'm losing 50 points or 90. So yeah, that's really desperate. So again, it's probably not really that good move in terms of like creating another weak group. So probably should have like built a base here instead. But I don't really want black to stay connected. So on the one hand, you're trying to stay connected and build bases. On the other hand, you're trying to avoid opponent doing exactly the same thing. And it's the matter of timing. So how likely you are supposed to, like, how likely you are feeling when it's the right time to do this. Well, if it's not the right time, you can take back and do it again, but I only take back when it comes to some tactical blunders, because I'm not doing tactics at all, which is bad, but that's not my goal. I'm really trying to strategically outplay the engine to improve my abstract understanding of the game. That's my ultimate goal for now. So, well, it makes a sort of a shape eye, but I believe, again, it doesn't quite make sense because, well, at some point it puts the pressure on this stone, but you would rather pincer to make it even more pressure, because in that case, white should run, and yeah, it's really questionable, like, it's really, black is getting really better. Or at least trying to secure the corner, because this doesn't really seem really nice. Let's have a look at the estimation in here. So white is plus 25, yeah, so still white considered, like, was 15 last time, like now it's 25. Still, it feels like much better. And I love this move, like, because it's bad for black, so yeah, it's bad. It's not grabbing territory, literally, like, just forming the eye shape. The cost is too high. So I'm extremely happy to place the stone here to build another base. I have this base, so this stone is no longer yeah, it's no longer weak. So I have a base here. So I have only one weak stone out of the opening. So I don't say the opening is over, but it's almost over. We'll talk about it a bit more. So yeah, so some forcing sequence to define the borders, the exact borders. And again, what black does here, so it builds the influence towards the center. So potentially, if it just grabs the entire center, that could be good for him. But literally, it just helps me to have a whole lot of points absolutely for freeing the corner and on the side. So I believe that this sequence is something that black shouldn't do, really. And then finally, black recalls that he has the weak stone in here and tries to force it. So really, like, what the GNU GO does, it's really like in style of ancient Chinese masters in terms of abstract level thinking. Although it doesn't do it as masterpiece as human players of the past did, but the concepts are clearly seen here. So it just tries to avoid having the weak stone here, which is good. And on the other hand, I still want to say, by this move, I just tell him, like, you're not supposed to live here. You just spend time on running towards the center, and then I won't let you do pretty much anything there as well. So now, by this move, I'm establishing the very last base in the game. So I have this big base, I have this base, I have corner, fantastic corner here, and I have this base, and I would be happy to make these two bases one. And then the plan for a middle game, so I believe that starting from the next move, well, although like middle game is something like pros say, like invasion starts the middle game, that's the saying. Not obviously, probably, but anyway. At this point, it's like, if we compare this position to chess, if you've been playing Sicilian Dragon as whites, then like you are currently in the position when you're ready to push the h4 to start the attack on the h file. So that position in the Sicilian Dragon and this position in this game of Go, this particular one, is quite similar stage, I would say. So they are at quite similar stage. Although there is no some crushing, being like 15 points ahead, or how much, like, already 39 points ahead. Well, it's like doomed, really. It's treated to be doomed, but not in my case, obviously, because I can be like many points ahead and still lose the game. It means nothing to me, although it's quite pleasing. And by the way, when I was playing, I wasn't watching it. I sometimes do use this estimate when I don't clearly understand, like, am I doing better or worse, just to have a clue. But a few moves later, I was thinking that my position is actually bad. So we'll get there just in a minute. Okay, so here I'm sacrificing the stone, or probably not the best ever solution, but yeah, since the Go is about coexisting with your opponent, so I just let my opponent live in there. So I didn't really want him to make the base, but somehow I messed up with this, and yes, I couldn't really, so just, okay, let him leave there. And now again, he just helped me to almost for free connect this group with these stones. Okay, and yeah, so just drafting some borders. Okay, so well, this point this was quite interesting, because here this is the position where I was thinking I'm worse. I was thinking I'm losing, to be honest, in here. White plus 16. So you see, like, it was white plus 39 a few moves before. And then I made something horribly wrong, messed up things. So, like, this position still, let's have the estimate here. Still, like, white plus 22. Yeah, it's probably after this has happened. Yeah, so after, so just to rewind a bit back. So, yeah, here, you see, like, estimate is, like, white plus 39. But, yeah, since I'm extremely weak in the local tactical battles, so just gave some 3 points to black. But here, in this at this point, so before this move was about to happen, I didn't see the estimate when I was playing this particular. So still white is like better, but it lost around like half of his potential that he had because of like losing this battle, which wasn't necessarily needed. So my biggest concern in this position was if black either captures this stone or tries to build some wall here, if it grabs this entire territory, that's going to be really bad. Moreover that, you see what a huge moyo is about to happen in the center of the board. So I was really concerned that I just get locked in here, locked here, and then black takes this entire territory in the center. So that was something I was extremely concerned about. So what I tried to do, I did understand that probably I won't be able to like demolish this territory because I'm not Cho-Chi-Kun, right? So I was at least trying to build some outside thickness to have some influence towards the center, to at very least prevent black from grabbing the center. Hence this move. Okay. Yes, but black could have played, I don't know, here, but he just tries to secure his, like he could have tried to kill my stones and tried to retain his influence towards the center, but he didn't. And instead he's going territorial, he's just trying to secure his corner there. I'm really happy. So I'm starting to build my thickness to influence the center. It's getting really much better now. And, well, I'm not quite sure why did I play this. Yeah, probably to ensure that this territory is mine, because I wasn't really sure how much I eventually have. And you see, like, black is already going towards the center, trying to connect all of his groups. And I'm extending my base a little bit, and now these stones are starting being questioned, really. So if I manage to grab this entire corner with these stones being dead, that would be, like, literally, the game would be won after. So computer is trying, like GNU GO is trying to live in the corner, and I was trying to not allow him doing this, but after this move he actually leaves because he puts the stone here. He has 2 eyes. Well, probably there is a way to kill it, I'm not quite sure, but not with my skills. But yeah, so I actually make sure that these 2 stones are dead, and after this move, yeah, probably if I play here instead, probably I could have killed the entire thing. Then he can run towards the center. So those complications, I'm trying to avoid complications at any cost, because with my skills, it like just literally means losing if I'm going for complications, because the situation is no longer flowing within those borders where I can understand the game. So I just secure this chunk of territory here, and so these stones are not going anywhere, so these are mine. And yeah, now I was trying to split this. So before this move, I was trying to split this group, so potentially go in here, trying to grab this. Well, didn't happen. Quite natural. Yes, and like again, this move wasn't probably that necessarily. I would probably better play here. Again, to maintain my my influence and thickness. So it's probably not the best ever move to consider. Again, here I could have secure, so the threat in this position is black is about to play here and questioning my corner, trying to reduce the number of points, of territory points in the corner. But instead, I still try to, well, I'm not quite sure, probably I just should play here. But hopefully, like, black didn't play there actually. So I didn't think that's the big threat, although it might be. I don't know. I don't know why did I play here. It doesn't make sense to me. I would, again, rather play here or just secure the corner. It's probably be better. Anyway, now I'm trying to connect all of these stones, which is likely to happen. And now black cuts, so this stone is dead after. But building the tiger mouth, and now my thickness is complete, and my influence towards the center is okay. Again, if I was playing versus a human player, like a single digit Q, he would most likely probably just kill this group, like by placing, because so many black stones in the center. I will probably not be able to leave with this. Like, it doesn't mean that this is essentially it's dead. No, it's not. But if I'm playing, then probably it is. But yeah, so you see, like I was trying to, still allowing this move, which probably by this time, like the estimate drops even more. Yeah, you see, like estimate drops even more after. So I had a sort of advantage, but it's slipping. I'm slipping the advantage. So yeah, so making a nice shape here. Well, it's not the real eye because black still can capture. So now I'm finally securing the corner for threatening the co here, entering this stone. I was getting concerned about this stone. So really, like when I see this position now, I have no idea how I could win this game really, because like black is so influential in the center. And again, so territories, like for some reason, yeah, it gives 26 back to white. Well, probably that's because I've defined the borders of my corner in here. So like sometimes estimate is jumping back and forth for no clear reason, well, at least to me. And yeah, the worst nightmare is currently happening. So black is occupying the center, like looking to connect all of his groups. So this group goes to the center. If this group goes to the center, so this one and this one. So literally all the groups are coming into the center. That's the most essential thing of the ancient Chinese WeiQi style, Go style, the WeiQi in Chinese. So yeah, this move, I was trying to make some space to make sure that at very least this group would leave. But I believe if black just calmly plays somewhere in here, then this stone is dead after, and this group is as well. Well, I'm so smart when I'm just reviewing my own game. When I was playing this, I couldn't really realize it. What I tried to do, I was just trying to reduce black's potential at any cost without much understanding, like, what am I doing? So yeah, again, black is just giving me a chance here, just giving me a chance. So yeah, now I would most likely live here. Again, like black giving me a chance. What's the reason to play this move? It's bullshit. It doesn't make any sense. I can't see any sense with this move, really. Yeah. So this is good because it like questioning the living of my stones, but like the next move is one that I'm really proud of, because I would never ever play a move alike because I was like too afraid, too shy playing that sort of a move. So by playing here, I simply say that, okay, you place the stone there, you want to kill my group, but no, I want to allow you, and this stone would be captured eventually, so I won't let you to connect. Or if you try, still this formation is big enough to kill you. I don't say that that's the ultimate truth really, but assuming the level of GNU GO and assuming my confidence in this game, this particular point so far, this is something I was quite pretty sure about. So yes, I'm just yeah, so you see, like this stone is not going anywhere. Now this move, I don't know, it's probably like next to suicide, because really, how are you supposed to live here? Black just plays here, and how you live? Okay, so you go in here, black cuts. So at very least black can grab this territory. So yeah, so this move looks so stupid to me. I wasn't really thinking that way when I was playing this. And by the way, that's one of the places where I made use of take back. So I play somewhere else. But in that case, black actually put this black stone there, and I did realize that I kind of load this big territory for black. Although I probably could. So let me just see the estimate in here. I'm not quite sure Yeah, so white plus 11, so still fine, still okay. So what happens after white puts the stone? So would the estimate really change after? Not really. 21, but it was 22. Here it was probably 21, or is it? Oh, plus 11. Oh, actually it was 10 more points in regards to the estimation. So yeah, probably. But again, this move is so stupid. You need to make sure you make use of this territory. So this stone has no option to leave. Like, it's just so weird. So this move, like, you can make it later. So it's not necessarily needed to play now. So it gives me a chance. You see, like, it's not a base. It's just, yeah, like a candidate to be a dead group in the center. But yeah, you may consider this as an evil invasion at some point. So, okay. I actually, yes. Oh, well, this is strange. So he allows me to capture here and make. It's not yet an eye because he still can capture this. But yeah, after this move, like again, so what he's trying to do is trying to connect. Doesn't quite make sense. I would rather try to play somewhere in here, or try to, well, it's hard to say, or maybe even in here, because it gives me free hands for quite a bit of time, because I was threatening to capture all these stones, which is like end of game for black. And again, this is strange, like again strange. So he could have grabbed this one and make this big thing here. So here I ignore the Atari, which is threatening to take only this one stone, which doesn't make any sense because we have a much bigger situation on the board. So yeah, Go is really about like estimating what is bigger and what is really urgent at this particular point. So after this move, white is living. Before, so if say black play here, I'm not quite sure whether white would be able to leave, because I would be trying to connect, so connect here, because so black plays here, for instance, then I need to connect, because it's not going anywhere here, so it's just going to die. But if I place here, then the idea is to connect with this group. But if I do that, then black just splits, and it's a ladder like, well, it's not ladder is not working here, but anyway, so this would bring way more troubles to me if black just plays here, right? But it didn't. It just did a stupid move threatening this stone, which no one cares about really. Well, he still tries to do something, but now I have free hands to connect this group to this one, and I'm totally fine. And now I'm using these stones just to reduce black's territory, which is really good. So now I have no issues with connection, right? So now this, like, all of this could be black's territory, but he gave me this. So I didn't get many points here, but I've reduced a lot of black points, which is also like the strategy known as demolish an opponent's territory, which is also good. Okay, so at this point I wasn't sure whether I'm winning or losing at all. No, actually it says like white is much better. Yes, well, I couldn't quite see that, but that's good if this is like so. I probably watched that, like turn on the estimate a few moves later, and when I saw that I'm kind of winning, that was really satisfying. So this move is trying to grab another big chunk. So instead of playing here, so probably if black plays somewhere in here, so this can potentially become black's territory, which, yeah, but it doesn't do this. So those are the limitations of the GNUGO's abstract thinking. And no matter if it just like plays, I don't know, like the highest level he can, he would just grab some territory here because it would be battery calculation. It would just be outplaying me tactically and locally. But generally, like, since it doesn't have a neural network to have an overall grip on a position, like understanding of what's happening on the larger scale, it just like he loses peacefully and that's my exact goal. So I'm trying to win peacefully. Like how you can win peacefully, all you need to do is to outplay opponents strategically. So by outplaying opponents strategically, it means having a better estimation on what is more important at this particular time in this particular situation. So timing, like what is more important in this case in a particular position. All right, so yeah, like this move was sort of terrifying for me back in the day. It was quite terrifying for now as well, but I just thought that, yeah, so you don't have to be afraid, because like if you don't allow this stone to connect with these stones to capture this group, in that case you actually kill it, because there is no enough space for living on the site. Okay, and by the way, here I was I could have tried to save this stone, but in this case I will lose all of these stones, and that would be really bad. So I ignore this threat, so it just grabs this one, and I'm losing something here, but I'm sure that these stones would leave, and I have more in here. So it's all about estimation ultimately. Yeah, so again, this move is strange, so probably playing here would be better. I play here then, yeah, probably still doesn't work, but I'm not even sure. So if black plays here and white plays here, oh, he's just trying to play, because yes, otherwise I just capture him, so he doesn't have enough time. Yeah, so we are back to the actual variations of what happened within the game, and I simply connect, and this stone is not living, so all this territory is now officially mine, which is really good. Right, so just the final like end game to define the very like eventual boards, to define the very eventual borders of my groups, okay, of both groups. So, well, this move is just to make sure, well, this is alive anyway, but like, I shouldn't probably play this, but yeah, just didn't want black to invade and kill my group eventually. All right, so yeah, let's see the estimator here as well. So yeah, white plus 12, quite good so far. Okay, all right. So yeah, just trying to finalize the borders of my groups, and yeah, we are done. Why this became actually possible? Well, that's because I have a clear understanding of what to do in every single stage of the game. Like in the opening, I was trying to build the bases, right? Then in the middle game, I was trying to connect my bases and try to like develop towards the center. I didn't really succeed in that, but yeah, anyway. So yeah, probably one last similarity between Go and chess. So in traditional chess, you have a fixed starting position, which brings a whole lot of opening theory. And if you break the opening position, the starting position, in that case, whatever opening theory we've been developing for centuries, it's just no longer on the cards in that way. Like in Fischer random, for instance, like open theory is not working there, only like the general principles of the game. And again, like the bad initial position might not be like resulting in the equal initial position, and the matter of equality is that just both players have no clue. In Fischer random, both players have no clue how to play that sort of position, so they don't have any preparation for the opening, so they just go in more in abstract thinking. So like Fischer random is really like Fischer random versus traditional chess. It's really like modern Go versus ancient Chinese WeiQi or Go, because yeah, they had the starting position back in the day, but then they like dropped that, and nowadays people play like starting from absolutely empty board, and this like brings absolutely different opening theory and principles, and this has been developed over the years. But yeah, so the summary and the final thought I'd like to deliver to you guys, for those complete noobs like I am who just starting to play Go, who has no idea how to actually play, what to do in the game, because like setting a goal to win the game would definitely bring to losing the game, never-ending fighting, and just without any sense at all. But trying to set up small goals and try to achieve those goals, no matter if you win or not, keeps you interested, keeps you addicted to the game, and brings you a lot of joy and fun playing. So starting with this 4 stones like gives you a sort of a starting framework to play from, and it's really helpful. It's like, you know, like if you've been trying to learn how to ride the bicycle when you were a kid, sometimes they make bicycles with 3 wheels so you don't fall on 2 wheels. So this 4 stones, the initial position, is something like riding the bicycle with 3 wheels instead of 2. Or if you are swimming, it's like you can like lie on a surfing board and just use your hands to swim. It doesn't help you learn how to swim though, but it keeps you like floating in the water. Like without that board, you would just drown. But with that board, with a surfing board on top of, you're lying on top of, you can still do exactly the same thing as if you've been swimming. So this is very similar. So I highly recommend to those who are not going to become professionals and just want to play Go for fun, but have no idea, like stuck somewhere and have no idea how to improve, how to move off the dead point. You just try to play versus GNU GO, and you try to play without kami with a starting position like they did in the ancient Chinese Go. And I swear, I promise you, this would give you a whole lot of fun. So yeah guys, thanks for watching, see you later, and cheers.